Good morning, afternoon and evening, guys. Welcome back to Captain's Redstone Cadets episode 5. I think it's 5. This episode is going to be in daylight sensors, so just for those who are watching, as of the 25th of March, I think it is today, 25th of March, the daylight sensor and quartz blocks are not in the console versions of the game yet. They're only on the PC version. So with that in mind, let's get started. A daylight sensor is another input device for Redstone. It creates a signal, so and then the way it works is it works off of daylight, pretty much. It senses the daylight, and based off how much daylight is going into it, it will send out a signal based on that number. So a normal Redstone input will send out a 15 block signal. You know, we've covered this before. However, we can see here, because of the time of day it is now, that this redstone signal here has dropped down to 12 blocks, 11, sorry. And gradually as the sun gets lower in the sky, it will decrease and decrease and decrease up until night time, when there'll be no signal at all. So we know from our redstone adventures together that if we want this signal to be activated during the night time, so we want the signal coming out at night, all we would do was invert the signal. So if we want something to come on at night, when there's no signal being powered from here, the signal would die coming out of the sensor, this block will become unpowered, the torch will turn back on, and this signal would go live. So that's how you would invert it. Let me just get the redstone back. Okay. So let me just go time set 0 here. There we go. Okay, so we're back to broad daylight. This is the highest point, like brand new morning. So we can see here that the signal isn't quite at its full strength yet. We can see the sun gradually getting higher. So as the sun comes higher in the sky, the signal will extend. So if we do, so we can probably watch it live, I suppose. Okay, so it'll be here now. Then that would come here. I guess we could just do the time set command. Okay, let's do time set 1000. There we go. We can see now that this one's just gone live because the sun is higher in the sky. So that's how that works. So if we do time set 5000, see now the signal is at its full strength. Anymore, and it's travelled more than 15 blocks, which is when we would need a repeater. So with this in mind, we can now make the most common use I've seen for it is automatic street lamps. Now obviously this doesn't look the most cosmetically appealing thing, you know, you can make them much more compact and with different materials, but this is basically how it works. So we'll rebuild it for us here. Let's just get rid of all this stuff that we don't need, and then we will get the other stuff. So we need a fence. I mean, you can use any kind of fence. I prefer wooden fences. We need stairs, which is there. Again, you can use any kind of wood, but just because the fence is the default wood colour, the oak, that's why I'm using fences. You can also use cobblestone walls as well, or iron fences, whatever you want. So we need that, and our daylight sensor, and a sticky piston. Okay. So let's just show how this works first. Come on, fly up. There we go. So if we were to set time to 500, okay, time set 10,000, okay, set, and do 13,000. Okay, so we can see here now that the sun is about to go down, and then my phone is going off. Okay, sorry about that cut, guys. I had to answer the phone real quick. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Here we can see this is how it works. When the daylight sensor is giving out no input, there is a sticky piston up here. Oh, let me put that back. There's a sticky piston up here that retracts a redstone block. Now this powers the lamps. Simple stuff. So, however, when the daylight sensor above the lamp if I can fly, there we go, is powering. It pushes the piston, which pushes the block down, so we can see that now. We got time set 0. There, the sun's up. This is receiving a signal, which activates the piston below, which pushes the block down into here, which turns the lights off. And then the reverse will happen when we go to time set, say, 1500. So we can see here that the final signal is very weak now, which means the daylight sensor is about to receive no daylight. Piston retracts, pulls a redstone block back up into the lamps, creating automatic lighting when it turns to night. Now all these kind of designs, there's various different ones. You can use the stairs. I use the stairs here just to hide the piston. There's loads of different designs you can do with it, you know, mess around in creative. Okay, so now we know that, there's many other uses such as opening pistons at night to defend yourself from mobs, or like underground street lighting. So like just a lamp in the ground would turn on at night time instead of having it kind of exposed a little bit like this. There's many other uses for it. So if we wanted to invert the signal, this is what we would do. When the daylight sensor is having no daylight put into it, the signal is dead. This block is unpowered, which means the torches aren't, which means this signal is live, and it goes down to whatever you might be powering. So that might be a redstone torch. So you might want that to come on at night. So another way we can do this is if we go to time set 0 when it's daytime. So this is now receiving power from the sun, which lights up this signal, powers the block, turns the torch off, and this signal is now dead, meaning the light is off. So it's just basic inversion, what we studied a couple of episodes back. Again, this is just how you apply it to another project, simple how we did with the piston doors as well. You can see that over here, just simple inversion, easy stuff. So jump into creative, guys, mess around with some daylight sensors. You can come up with all sorts of kind of contraptions and devices with them. It's basically just a timed way of doing this. If you want something to happen at night, then it can turn on without you having to manually switch it. So enjoy, guys, mess around with creative, see what you can come up with. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.